Hi guys, the summer is a very important part of the year. For most of you, you have plenty of time, you're in vacations, you don't work, you don't have school, and you want to start growing. You want to start a side hustle, you want to start taking fitness seriously, whatever, and that's great. But before trying to do that, you must hear the 5 steps I'm about to explain to make sure that you use that time effectively and that you stay on the right path. So to not waste your summer, the first step is to find a precise goal. At the beginning of the summer, I want you to set one clear goal. It can be related to fitness, like getting shredded, getting under 180 pounds, or can be related to making money, finding a job as a lifeguard, as a waiter, finding a side hustle, or it can be completely different, like writing a book, whatever. But in any case, you absolutely need that big goal to find your purpose, to find your why. Why are you working this summer? Why are you doing this? Why do you wake up every single morning? Now, it doesn't mean that you can't do several things at the same time, but you have to find one thing that is the most important one in order to really focus your attention and your energy on that thing. The second step to not mess up your summer is to find a fixed sleep schedule. Seems maybe stupid, but I guarantee that waking up around the same time every single morning is perhaps one of the best things that you can do to not waste your summer. You may believe that you absolutely need 8 hours of sleep each night, which is right, but then what happens is that if one night, for whatever reason, you go to bed extremely late, 3, 4, or 5 a.m. and then you wake up the next day at 1 or 2 p.m., the next day is completely cooked. Because when you wake up at 2, 3 p.m., your circadian clock is completely messed up, your energy levels are completely down, you feel like shit, you don't want to work, you don't want to go to the gym, so you skip your workout, you don't eat clean, and then that day converts into 2 days in a row and 3 days in a row. And you know the saying, if you want to win the year, you need to win the month. If you want to win the month, you need to win the week, and if you want to win the week, you need to win the day. But to win the day, you need to win the morning. So if in the morning you feel horrible, you wake up extremely late, you don't want to work and all that stuff, it's just not conducive to making gains, to growing. So I'm telling you, choose something realistic. It doesn't have to be 4:30 a.m., right? Pick something realistic, 8, 9 or 10 a.m., whatever, and commit to that schedule. And even if you go to bed later because you have a party, a birthday, whatever, the next day you still wake up at the same time, but then the next night you just go to bed earlier, and as you're going to be tired, you're going to fall asleep instantly. So it doesn't matter. There's no big deal. You're in vacations anyways. So again, the second step is to commit to a fixed sleep schedule, especially the wake up time. Now, the third step to not mess up your summer is to master your fitness. This is especially important if your big goal, the one I talked about earlier in the first step, is not related to fitness. Like, if it's related to fitness, alright, that's perfect. You already know that fitness is perhaps the most important thing for your life. But if it's not related to fitness, you still need to master your health. Of course, you need to take care of your health at any time of the year. But then in the summer, what happens is you have more time. And what's the most common excuse that people find when it comes to going to the gym each and every day, doing 10,000 steps, eating clean? They don't have time. That's the most frequent excuse. People say, I don't have time to cook, right? So I just order. I don't have time to go to the gym, so I just skip the lift. But now you have time, so go outside, go walk 10 or even more than 10,000 steps every single day. Make the time to cook, to eat clean, to go to the gym, to do some cardio maybe, to go swim, to go run, whatever. And again, I cannot emphasize enough the importance of your health. When you don't have any health issues, you maybe have like 100 problems, 200 problems, 300 problems, who knows? But when you have a health issue, a serious sickness, then you only have one problem. That saying is pretty famous and it's extremely real, because again, the day you have a health problem, it becomes your number one priority, right? It becomes the most important thing in your life. The fourth step to use your summer effectively is to learn things. Read books, watch documentaries, learn a new language, listen to podcasts, learn to play an instrument. The guy who just scrolls for 2 months, 3 months, is not gonna have much to talk about in September, right? Sometimes people are overestimating learning and they're not acting enough. So of course you need to act first. But still, if you can use a little bit of all that time that you have during those vacations to learn things, by reading books, listening to podcasts, watching documentaries. That's awesome. And finally, the last step to not mess up your summer, and this one you didn't see it coming, is to enjoy your summer. All right, don't fall too deep into that self-improvement cycle and try to only work for 2 months straight. Go out, see your family, see your buddies. Self-growth doesn't mean isolating you from the rest of the world, right? It only means becoming a better version of yourself, and you can completely become a better version of yourself and still seeing your family and your friends and your loved ones, watching a football game with your friends once in a while. Enjoy your life. Self-improvement is great, but you're not a self-improvement machine. You're a human being, so you need to enjoy your life, to create memories, create experience of the real world. Of course, I don't want you to be lazy and to only scroll for the whole summer. At the same time, it's about balance, and I don't want you either to just stay inside for 3 months. That's not the point. You don't want to be antisocial. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Hope it's gonna help you. If it did, please let me know in the comments. You can also leave a like, subscribe to my channel as well, click the bell button, and I'll see you next time.